welcome back to the second episode of the Algerian Football Show, coming to you every Sunday, unless Algeria are playing and stuff like that. But anyway, it's another jam-packed show for you today, with loads of Algerian footballers back in action, just as we like to see it, as well as two Algeria World Cup qualifiers being announced. And let's start with that. We've got two World Cup games coming up. On the 2nd of September, we're going to host Djibouti in Blida in the evening, and then we're going to travel to Burkina Faso but play in Morocco. That's right, Algeria against Burkina Faso. Now that Burkina Faso way I've spoken about before is the toughest World Cup qualifier, and we're playing it in Morocco. Now the Burkina Faso stadium doesn't meet the CAF requirements in terms of CAF stadium criteria, so they've moved the game to Morocco. Now I think that's very sneaky. I have my suspicions about that, and I expect there still to be no supporters inside the stadium. But why move Algeria's away game to Morocco? Now on paper you'd say that would actually suit Algeria, because there's less travelling to the game, it's around the corner, which is good of course, because we only have to go to Blida and then travel to Marrakesh for the game, and the game will also take place in the evening as well, and the temperature won't be as hot as perhaps in Burkina Faso in sub-Saharan Africa. It just seems a bit fishy to me while we play the game in Morocco, but nonetheless we should have enough on paper to still get a result, and I'd be very happy with just a draw in that game in Burkina Faso, because one, it would keep the unbeaten record going, which could potentially be 29 games by the end of September, and two, as long as we don't lose that game, we pretty much should win that group and win the other 5 games. I think the home games take care of themselves. So Algeria have got 2 World Cup games, Algeria Djibouti 2nd of September in Blida, and then Burkina Faso Algeria on the 7th of September in Marrakesh. We've got that to look forward to, but of course our players are all with their clubs right now. Who should we start with? Well, the brilliant performance from Saeed Benrahma with West Ham United, and you know, as a West Ham fan, as you know by now, I'm absolutely buzzing. Now we know as Algerians how good Benrahma is. We saw what he did with Brentford and the goals and assists he was getting in the Championship. Last season, didn't get much chance under David Moyes, but this season West Ham have got a very small squad, so you'd expect Benrahma to be starting a lot more games, and they're in Europe as well, so plenty of opportunities to be seeing Benrahma at West Ham this season, and inshallah I'm going to be vlogging some West Ham games this season, going to watch him. But 1 goal and 1 assist in Benrahma's first Premier League game of the season. Newcastle 2, West Ham 4. Now it started badly for West Ham. They were 1-0 down, then they were 2-1 down, but the second half is when Benrahma really came to life. In the first half he was offside quite a few times, he was getting a little bit annoying, but in the second half Antonio crosses the ball in, and a goal from Benrahma, who's not the tallest of players I must add, scores with his head, a brilliant header, and then the assist for Antonio. He returns the favour. Antonio finishes off the chance created by Benrahma. Very, very good indeed. So excellent start to the season for side Benrahma, and hopefully we're going to be seeing that a lot more, and you can't really drop him. Now last season he scored 1 goal in the Premier League. This season he's already scored 1 goal in the Premier League, so he's already matched that in fact, and we're still in the middle of August, so that's good. Can he get 10 goals? I think he'd get a few clubs wanting to sign him if he got 10 to 15 goals at West Ham this season, but a brilliant start for Saeed Benrahma. We also saw the first goal in the league of the season for Andy Delort, our striker. Now I would love to see Andy Delort start the Algeria World Cup qualifiers ahead of Baghdad Bounedjah. I've still got my doubts over Bounedjah, particularly when we went to AFCON. He scored 1 goal in the opening game and he scored 1 fluke deflection in the final. I didn't see enough from Bounedjah throughout the tournament. Of course he missed that penalty against Ivory Coast, which would have made it a lot easier if we went 2-0 up in that quarter final. But I think Delort offers more, and if you're playing in Ligue 1 with respect, playing in Ligue 1 is a whole level above playing in Qatar for Al Sadd. But of course Benrahma makes the decisions. We might go forward into a front three of Benrahma, Delort, Mahrez, but at the moment he likes Belaili, he likes Bounedjah, the Oran Oracles. But Delort did score in Montpellier's 3-3 draw away from home. It was a bullet header, cross comes into the box, and Delort bulleted the header, a bit like Slimani does, probably watching some of Slimani's videos, although Slimani didn't have a good game. He did of course start for Lyon this weekend. He got the goal last week. This weekend he got the start. Unfortunately Lyon got absolutely thrashed 3-0. They were down to 10 men, so not a good week for Slimani. But Delort had a good week. He got the first goal, 1 goal in 2 games. Of course Montpellier were unlucky not to beat Marseille. They were 2-0 up in that game, but Delort is on the score sheet this time. He's got a very good relationship with the other striker Laborde at Montpellier. Could we see Delort move on? He's been linked with Nice. But yes, anyway, great to see Delort on the score sheet, and again, I would like to see him get more game time with the Algerian national team. Another player on the score sheet in Ligue 1 this weekend, Hichem Boudaoui. Now Boudaoui again didn't start the first game for Nice. Second game, Lille lost 4-0, and this is Lille, the reigning Ligue 1 champions. They beat PSG to the title last season. Their manager went to Nice, and Nice have beaten them 4-0 in their own backyard. And Boudaoui scored an absolutely smashing goal, a rocket into the back of the net, a brilliant finish from Boudaoui. Now, this might be a bit controversial, but I've still got my doubts about Boudaoui. I haven't seen Boudaoui play a good game for Algeria. I remember the friendly against Mali recently. Boudaoui had to come off at half time, and then we improved a lot more when Boudaoui was off the pitch. Now, he's still young, he's still improving his physicality, but I think there are better midfield options at the moment. I feel more comfortable seeing Feghouli, Benrahma. I'd put Zerouki ahead of him, Ben Kubla. I feel more comfortable when Zerouki was playing. Zerouki against Tunisia, when Boudaoui didn't play, was fantastic, was man of the match for me. I think Zerouki for me is ahead of Boudaoui. Now, I could be wrong with Boudaoui, but I think I haven't seen enough yet to see how good he is. Now, Boudaoui wouldn't be in the Algeria team to score goals. It's great that he scored, but that's not his job in the team. Boudaoui loses the ball a lot when he plays with Algeria. He gets dispossessed a lot. So I haven't got fully trusted confidence in Boudaoui yet. He needs a whole season at Nice, not on the bench playing 10-15 games as a sub. He's got to play every week and get experience. Yusuf Attal, of course, kept a clean sheet in that game as well. So lots of players doing very well for Algeria at the moment. Unfortunately though, we did have some bad luck with Issa Mandi's first competitive game with his new club Villarreal, and Issa Mandi didn't start the game against Chelsea. It was a great opportunity to see him against some top attackers. Chelsea took the lead, Villarreal equalised 1-1. Mandi came on in extra time. He actually played in the back three alongside Torres and Albiol. These are good players Mandi's playing with, so he's obviously at a good level. Good manager, Unai Emery. Goes to penalties. Mandi decides to take a penalty. He takes the second penalty. Now, I've got respect, a lot of respect for Mandi for deciding to take the penalty. It takes a lot of guts in a final to take a penalty. So respect to Mandi for actually having the guts to go and take one. I think it shows great confidence, but unfortunately, it wasn't a very good pen, and it was an easy save for Kepa, who came on for Chelsea to make. And funnily enough, if Mandi had scored his penalty, Villarreal would have won the shootout. So unfortunately, it's not the start we wanted for Issa Mandi. We've seen a bit of transfer activity as well. Rachid Gazelle, he's confirmed his move to Besiktas from Leicester City on a permanent deal this time, a 4-year deal, and that means we've got 4 Algerians in the Champions League for this season at the moment. We've got Mahrez at Man City, Benrahma at AC Milan, Mandi at Villarreal, and Besiktas are in the group stage of the Champions League, where we will be seeing Rachid Gazelle this season. And Gazelle, he's got to fight for that backup right wing spot to Mahrez, because Adam Nurse, is he going to get a move? He's going to be fighting for that spot. Of course, Verhat gets called up sometimes as well, so there's a lot of competition for that right wing position. Mehdi Tahrat, we saw Mehdi Tahrat a lot with Algeria when Belmadi first took the job. Of course, we've got Touba now who's coming through, but Tahrat has moved to Al Gharafa in Qatar, the club where Goudiora was playing, where Sofiane Hani is playing. So we've got another player moving in the Middle East, and of course that means Tahrat is eligible for the upcoming Arab Cup later in the year. But Adeline Goudiora, what about him? He's left Al Gharafa, he's back in the UK, and he's training with his old club, Premier League Watford. What is he, 35, 36 years of age? He's been linked with a move back to Watford, where he's training at the moment. Could we see Goudiora move to Sheffield United, another club where he's been linked? So we could be seeing Goudiora back in English football a lot sooner than we thought. And it shows the quality of the player, and if he gets a few Premier League appearances, of course it's a much better level than playing in the Middle East. So Goudiora could be on the move as well. See, so much Algerian action this week to talk about. We haven't even spoken about Riyad Mahrez. Now, I don't want this to be the Riyad Mahrez programme every week. Yes, he is at Man City, and yes, good performance against Tottenham for Mahrez. Started the game, first time we saw him with Jack Grealish, so another good game for Mahrez under his belt, showing the faith put in him by Pep Guardiola. But we know how good Mahrez is. We're going to try and talk about all the other players as well. But those World Cup qualifiers are coming thick and fast. The Premier League is back underway. We've got a few injuries. We've got to sort out the left back. We need Rami Ben Sebaini to come back from injury to play at left back for those games. I don't want to see Abdellaoui in those games, because if Abdellaoui plays, we might not qualify for the World Cup, let's be honest. So I don't want to see Abdellaoui in those games. Mohamed Torres, so many question marks over him. Fawzi Goulam's basically got one knee, so he's a doubt. We might need a few left-back options. We should go and get Yanis Hamash, who plays in Portugal. There's so many good French-Algerian players that we could get that are eligible for the national team. But that's it for this week's Algerian Football Show. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll see you next time, hopefully, with a video on the AFCON draw, which is coming up. Algeria have been placed in pot 1 for the AFCON draw, which is on the 17th of August. I've done a video, you can check it out if you want, on the AFCON draw, previewing Algeria's best group and possible worst group. So there's a video you can check out already I've done on the AFCON draw. So I'll see you next time, hopefully, with a review of the AFCON draw, where hopefully Algeria have got some easy group games for AFCON coming up at the beginning of next year. But thanks for watching, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.